Okay. Next, let's talk a little bit of our session overview of what today is about. So first and foremost, we want to tell you a little bit more about what Schulich Ignite and what we do here. We'll also talk a little bit about the overview of the sessions, and then I will tell you how to contact us. We'll also talk a little bit about the session gala, and then at the very end, we will help you get your coding environment set up. And at the very end, all the mentees will be put into breakout rooms with your corresponding mentor, and they can help you questions with installation, help you out with the coding environment, or just play some ice-breaking games there. All right, so first and foremost, who are we? So Schulich Ignite, we are a student-run club here at the University of Calgary. So our goal is to ignite the passion for programming to all our students and make coding accessible. And so specifically for the Scorch sessions, our goal is that at the very end, all our students should be able to create a website, be it from scratch or to use a template to do so. You should also be able to bring your site to deployment. You should be able to understand what is going on in the background when you open up a web browser, open up a web page, and we'll give you some idea of what are the expected industry practices in terms of web development. And then at the very end, you'll have some idea about other fields that web development skills can be used for. All right, so how is what we're doing different than a lot of the online resources you can use? So we want to bring you more than just the technical aspect. We have exercises that are based off of real world projects, real world sites. We'll talk about what makes them successful or where they could have some improvement in. You get to build multiple websites throughout in the form of your exercises. That way you can put actual context into the things you're building. We'll also cover some theory, so some legality issues, so things like copyright and whether or not you can use other people's code in your own project, let's say. We'll also be covering some real world tools that people use in the industry and set you up with everything that you need to keep on learning, because web development is a vast world of knowledge out there. And what we're covering in the 8 sessions, it's only a tiny bit. So we'll teach you how to find your own resources to keep on learning. So the question that everybody may have, why do we want to learn web development? So it is a very universal skills. A lot of things that you learn in this course can be translated beyond just website development. You can use them in like mobile apps, game user interface, things like hardware integrations. They're very universal skills that it's good for everyone. Also, it's a very practical set of skills to have. There are a lot of employers currently seeking out people with skills in web development. It's a hot topic, it's a hot field. Also, in terms of web development, there are already a lot of pre-built libraries and things that you can use to make the distribution and making a website very easy. Okay, having said all that, let's take a look at how this 8-week course is going to be broken down. So we have a total of 8 different sessions. So in session 1, we're going to start with the fundamentals, the bare bone. We would teach you about the HTML, the CSS, and basic design. So things like what makes a website engaging to the audience, stuff like that. And then in session 2, we're jumping up a little bit in the ladder. We're talking about advanced CSS and design fundamentals. Starting in session 3, we're going to start teaching you guys about Bootstrap and JavaScript. This is when you get to use a little bit of the pre-built structures, using things that other people have built to make your life a little bit easier. Session 4, going to be advanced JavaScript and vendoring. So how to legally use other people's code so you don't get into trouble. Session 5, we're going to talk a little bit about markup languages, templating, and static site generators. Session 6, we're talking about computer networks and how to deploy the site that you make from your local machine to something everybody can access to. In session 7, it's going to be intro to backends and APIs. And at the very end, we're talking about security. So we'll talk about things like how to prevent SQL injections and so on and so forth. All right, so an easier overview is that the first half, you're talking about the basics, how to make your site look good, and developing some simple features. And the latter half, we're talking about elevating your site and making things work more efficiently and having more advanced features. So what makes us unique from other resources is, like I mentioned earlier, we are showing you the whys. Why do you want to use certain approach? Why do you want to use certain practice? We'll also help you give you the opportunity to practice the things you learn in multiple contexts of building more than just one site. And you also have the unique opportunity to get more one-on-one conversation with your mentors to ask them about their experience in developing. I think that's very valuable also. And the things that we're talking about here in this course is very multidisciplinary. It's not just coding, it's not just computer science. We're also talking about things like design, what makes a site appealing, what makes a site user-friendly. Also talk about content writing. How do you write better content for your site? We're also doing some case studies of real-world websites, like I mentioned earlier. We're going to talk about what makes a site successful, what makes a site not so engaging. Also talk about security principles, all the fun stuff. All right, here is an example of what I just talked about. So on the left here, you can see it's a chunk of text. It's not engaging to the eye. I don't want to read it, don't want to look at it. Whereas on the right, with some formatting, with some structuring, it instantly looks a lot more appealing. Here on the left also, very messy, unstructured, not very engaging at all. But if you just do a little bit of formatting, you can see it looks way more professional. Or it's everybody's favorite. We can also make things into dark mode, so it's easier to read. So what can you expect? Kind of a sneak peek of what we're going through. By the very end of session 3, we're going to talk about things like Flexbox, how to be able to change the layout automatically, dynamically, based off of user changes of the browser size. As you can see, when the browser is in a larger view, then the layout is way different than if you were to minimize the browser. By the end of session 4, we're doing things that are it's more user interactive. There's some navigation of pages, and you can see the formatting, the syntaxing. We'll also be teaching you guys something called create a page. It's this very neat thing where as a user, they can type in some text. Here we're showing a demonstration. There's also some formatting tools as well. You can do bullet points, you can do lists. And then at the very end, once a user has put in all the information, they're actually able to download the things that I've typed in here and then open it up as a separate text or separate web page there. Yeah, and then at the very, very end, so by the last session, you'll be able to learn things like API and how to use other people's database. So for example, we're showing a Pokemon Finder website here. So the data that stores all the Pokemon information is actually not hosted locally. We're using some external database, but we're able to retrieve the search results and display it on your own site, and that's very powerful. All right, so that's a sneak peek of what you'll be getting into throughout the sessions. There's some notes about the slides. As you can probably tell, some slides are pretty text heavy, and we don't expect everyone to read them line to line. And your lecture lead, Kieran, he will not be reading them line to line. They're mostly a reference for you because we will post these slides on our website, so you can always refer back to them afterwards. So during the session, we do recommend that you pay attention to the lecture lead or whoever is presenting over reading the text, because the texts are just there to help you to further your understanding afterwards. So do try to pay attention during the demo or during the sessions themselves. All right, so we do decide to color code our slides just to make everything a bit more organized, and you can tell right away what each slide is meant for. So the green header here called resources, because those are the links and information that we give you guys to do further reading. They could lead to other sites that go way more in depth on specific topics that we don't have the time to go through. We'll also have something called quick questions. We'll talk about it later towards the end. But basically, quick questions are multiple choice that you can answer to kind of solidify your understanding a little bit. So these are really short and quick questions that just test your understanding. Exercises, that's the cyan header. That's the one they're the in-class exercises. You'll be completing them with your mentor in breakout rooms. So this is a good way to kind of intermittently throughout the session solidify your understanding. You can also ask your mentor about specific knowledge that was covered earlier that you're not sure about. End of session exercises, these are your homework, if you will. They're completely optional. It's not mandatory. You can do it, or if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. They're just lengthier challenges for you to really think about the things that you have learned throughout the class. And you can do that in your own free time throughout the week. And like I mentioned, they're completely optional. If you do decide to complete them, and there are 3 different difficulties, like level 1, 2, 3, you're able to submit them and have your mentor to mark them. And the marking, the rubric, is going to be based off of whether your web page meets the requirements that we've asked for. Did you use the content correctly? And if, for example, if you're a freelance web developer, would your customer be happy about what you created? So Ignite points here, this is our point system kind of motivate our students. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. So for the Ignite points, there's 3 ways for you guys to earn points, either through consistent attendance or answering the quick questions as multiple choice that I mentioned, or end of session exercises. So the top 3 students with the most Ignite points can get Amazon gift cards. The amount is tentative right now, but as of right now, we're thinking about $75 for first place, $50 for second place, and I think $35. So I'll show you. So this is our Schulich Ignite website, and then if you click Ignite points, the link is not working right now. I can show you the scoreboard. But that's what the scoreboard look like. So this actually kind of records everybody. That's all the sessions. You guys will find yourself under the Ignite Scorch session. Right now, everybody has 0.0 because we're just starting, so it's alphabetical order. But if you at the very bottom here navigate to Friday Scorch, and you will see that the way to earn your points, like I mentioned, is through attendance, quick questions, and exercises. And if you navigate to the prizes, so we're doing 75, 50, and 25 Amazon gift cards. Historically, we have also done free courses for websites like Udemy or Codecademy. So do let us know if you have any strong preference for which one. Even if you can make the change for this time around, that's very useful feedback for us to carry forward for future sessions. Yeah, but as of now, we're thinking about Amazon gift cards. All right, street score. So that's to reward people for consistent attendance. So the first time you attend session, for you guys will be session 0 today, you get 5 points. If you guys show up next session, session 1, you will get 10 points. So you're getting 5 more points for every time, or 5 more points added for every consecutive session you attend. So let's look at an example. If we have a student that attended session 1 to 5, they have cumulative, so the 5th time they do show up, they're getting 25 points for Ignite points. For some reason, they're busy, they cannot make it, they skip a session. The next time they show up again, it's gonna start from 5 points again. So this is our way to encourage consistent attendance. And the quick questions. So the quick questions, like I mentioned, in the multiple choice, depending on how challenging they are, they were 10 to 20 points each, and you can answer them through Top Hat. Some of you may not know what Top Hat is. It's an online platform that you can answer questions. So here, I will drop the link here for you guys and post it here on the chat. So I encourage everyone to go to this website and log in. The code to join this course is this, 789689. So once you go to Top Hat, it'll look like this. I have 2 questions here ready for you guys. They're not for points, mostly for you to test out whether or not your Top Hat works or if you have joined the correct course. So these 2 questions are open until the midnight of this coming Friday, so the midnight of session 1. So you have plenty of time after this session or throughout the week to get your account set up. But if you can answer your questions about what you hope to learn with this session and then your name, One thing though, please create your account using your first and last name. And if you can, have the same email as your Zoom account. It just makes it easier for us to match your Top Hat account to student information so that we can populate that on the scoreboard easily. All right, so I'm thinking I'll give everybody maybe 5 minutes to get Top Hat set up. Any questions, feel free to leave in the chat for us. All the mentors can help out. But in the meantime, yeah, you can either go on this website or download the mobile app. I personally really like the mobile app. I think it's really convenient. Yeah. So a 5-minute break here for everybody to get things set up. Yes, so session 0 actually do give you guys attendance points. Yeah, your mentors will be marking the attendance. Can I get a thumbs up in the chat or emojis to let me know that for those of you that can successfully sign up, just so I know where we are at in terms of signing up here. All right, I don't see any thumbs up yet. Is everybody still needing more time? Oh, cool. I see one. Thank you, Niall. All right, we'll carry onward. You still have plenty of time to get your Top Hat sorted out. All right, so end of session exercises. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a total of 3 different levels. So depending on the difficulty, they're worth different amount of points. You can choose to do none of them, or some of them, or all of them. Your mentors will mark everything that you submit and then update the points on the scoreboard accordingly. So like I mentioned, everything's voluntary, so don't feel like you're pressured to do them. And the website, this is the website to Shulake Ignite. This is where you can submit your exercises as well as getting the slides. So I showed you guys a brief overview of it earlier. So this is our website. Submit exercises. You guys are Scorch. You can click here. I don't think the link is updated yet. So, but it will be when session 1 comes. So by the time you guys need to submit your exercises, they will be ready. And the Ignite point, if you click this, currently it's not working yet. It will bring you to the scoreboard that I showed you guys earlier. All right, Discord. So this is the best platform for you to communicate with other mentee or your mentor throughout the week when it's not session time. We have a link here. I can also drop that in the chat. All right, so once you're in the server, currently our Ember bot is not working, but once it's working, you can use the instruction here. It will create a channel, or it will add you to the channel with the appropriate mentor. That way you can have a kind of private channel to talk between your group, within your group with other mentees as well as your mentor. Yeah, and like I said, it's not online yet. I will update everyone when it is, hopefully by session 1. And I also mentioned briefly earlier about galas. So this is our way of celebrating the achievements of all our mentees. We're thinking of it happening mid-December this year. So in the gala, you get to show off your final projects with other mentees from other sessions. So we'll have about a total of 300 students this fall. So you get to show off your project to all the other mentees as well as a panel of speakers. We typically have our speakers either they're U of C professors or they're industry professionals that have supported us in the past. That way you can get to ask them questions, insights about what it's like working in academia or working in the industry. Okay, that was a lot of talking about some admin stuff or logistic stuff. Next, let's actually get started and get your environment set up. So I'll go over this next portion relatively quickly because I want you guys to do the installation themselves in the breakout room. So this is going to give you a heads up of what is expected. But first and foremost, you need a browser. And because of how the content is designed, it works best with Chromium-based browser. That means Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. I personally am partial to Chrome, but of course, you guys can choose either or. If you use other browsers that are not Chromium-based, you do need to install these two options, Chrome and Edge, or Edge, to get the best experience. And I have a link here for how to install Chrome. Also drop that in the chat. Just that way, as I move on the slides, you guys can still refer to the chat for these links. Okay, next, we need Python. We do use a lot of Python in this course. We do want you guys to use Python 3, ideally 3.7 and up, as well as pip. And you can download Python using this link here. Okay, we also attach some guides depending on the operating system if you ever run into trouble. But I think a lot of computers, especially Mac, come with Python already. So hopefully it's not too much trouble. Once you have Python and once you have pip, we do want you guys to download or install EasyCV. You can just use the command line. I guess I can copy that also. So if you're using Windows in your command line, you do pip install EasyCV. If you're using Mac or Linux, it's in your terminal, pip3 install EasyCV. We also have alternative path if you're having trouble. Again, ask your mentor in the breakout room and they can assist you that way. Yeah, moving very, very quickly. The next is VS Code. So this is our chosen IDE for this course. If you are familiar and you prefer other IDEs, you're more than welcome to use them. Our course is structured to use VS Code, and a lot of our mentors' primary IDE is VS Code. So just be aware that if you do decide to use another environment, And if you run into any issue, it'll be harder for us to troubleshoot for you. Of course, if you know what you're doing, if you're comfortable, if you like other IDEs, you're more than welcome to use that. And the link to download VS Code is here in the chat now. Okay. All right, I want to give everybody about another 5 minutes just to get the Python, the EasyCV, and the VS Code ready. And feel free to ask any questions in the chat here, so it doesn't feel like I'm the only one that's putting my thoughts into words onto you guys. Okay, and we will resume 12:36, I think. Error pip is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program or batch file. And is that after you download Python? Okay, sounds good. And if using pip, I assume using Windows. Okay, sounds good. Do you want to try this command instead? Yeah, it could be also that you don't have pip. If that is the case, you can use this command to install pip. You go to Anaconda first. No, you shouldn't have to. Okay, sounds good. Okay, 1 more minute to get your burning questions in before we move on. All right, let's go. Okay, so hopefully many of you have VS Code installed. If not, we can definitely help you out in breakout rooms. But we do want to show you the setup to get some extensions. I'm going to switch my screen share to show my VS Code. Just give me one moment here. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see it. All right, so after you have installed VS Code and you open up the application, it will bring you to this page. So we do want to install get the extension for Python. So here, using this icon extensions, if you type in Python, and then it'll give you the Python support. I already have it, but if you don't, just go ahead and click that install button and install this. Okay, afterwards, I would like to show you guys how to make a folder. It's very simple. You go to this icon here, it says Explorer. You want to open a folder. I'm using Mac, so the layout may be a little different for you guys, but you want to click here to create a folder. I already created one for empty folder, open. Then it's showing you the folder structure because I have nothing in there, so it's not showing up as anything. But that right now, the directory for the files that you'll be creating afterwards is going to be stored under empty folder. Okay, you can create a file here using this little file add, or you can create a new folder using this icon. It's going to add a file called test.py. The extension .py suggests that it's going to be a Python file. So that's a lot of way for you to specify the languages to be using is by the extension. And you can see here, my Python is currently running 3.9.6. So that's another convenient way for you to check your Python version here. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the slides. Hopefully it's a helpful small demo for you guys. Okay, so Git. So this is our, oh, sure. Yeah. Are you guys seeing the slides? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so this is our version control system that we decided to use for Ignite. So this is where you can find a lot of our files. So if I navigate to the Ignite repository here, called Scorch 2024, the links are on the slides, but Kieran has break it down into different sessions or different day here, session 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you are familiar with Git and you want to do Git clone, completely fine. It's gonna be a very easy way for you to kind of push and pull stuff. But if you are new to Git and just want a simple way, you can just go to here in the drop down with code, download the zip file. I already have it downloaded, so I won't do it. And then you can just unzip the folder and it'll show you the content here on your own local file system. So for session 0, so in order to get there, you want to first sign up. So if you don't have a Git account yet, you can go ahead and head to this link here to sign up and create your own account. And then once you have completed all the nonsense of signing up accounts, you can, one moment. Here, this is the link to the Scorch repository. So once you have all the accounts set up, you can just go here and then start doing the download zip action I showed earlier to access the content. So that is the kind of code content you need. And then the slides are the lecture content. So together that makes up all the content for this course. All right, so if you check today's file under session 0, it's going to be test.html, I believe is the name. So when you open it up, it's going to show like this. So that's how you know you have downloaded the content successfully. So if everybody can do that, I'll give you guys maybe 3 minutes. Hopefully that's enough to get your account and then download and extract everything and open up session 0's file. It should get to welcome to the course. I can also do a quick demo, I guess, on that. Stop share. Okay. All right, it's very messy desktop. I apologize, but I do have this file downloaded and unzipped. So in session 0, if I go to the exercises test.html, if you right click and open it with Chrome or whichever browser you decide, it will take you to this. So I'll give you guys until 12:44 to give that a try before we move on. Good, perfect. All right, let's get going to the next slides. Opening Markdown file, here are some shortcuts you can do it. If you have downloaded the repository content, you might have noticed there are a lot of README files. They're all in the form of Markdown. These are the command hotkeys you can use to preview them. Control if you're Windows, Command if you are Mac. All right, so very shortly, I'll start putting you guys into breakout rooms. You can do some ice-breaking games with your mentors, or they can help you with troubleshooting of any installation problem you have. Some suggestions for games you can play. You want to do some introduction first. Things like favorite smell, what's your name? As the weirdest questions you can make, the better. I think that's the best way to get to know someone, is to ask them unexpected questions. And then when you guys have time, feel free to play Scribble or Among Us or any sort of games you guys like. The session is scheduled to 1:30. I don't think we need that long. So I'm going to start opening up the breakout room very soon, and I'll give you guys half an hour. So I'll bring everyone back to the main room about 1:15. Okay, hopefully that's enough time. I'll go ahead and open up all the rooms now. Feel free to go to your rooms. Hi, Joan. If you can hear me, I opened up the breakout room for you with Isaac. That's your mentor. Feel free to click the breakout room button and join them for some help or to get to know your group a little bit better.